f4.
This zoom lens was from Nikon's professional zoom line and was manufactured in Japan between 1981 and 1998. This is the late AI-s version that replaced the earlier AI-s Nikkor 80-200mm, which had a maximum aperture of f4.5. This professional zoom used to sell new for almost $1,000 back in the 90s. Thankfully, you can find it now for around $100 on the used market. A while back, I saw a photo of Steve McCurry holding this lens when he was shooting the monsoon in India in the early 80s. And being a vintage lens nerd, I immediately bought a copy and was super excited to try it out. The optical design of this late version consists of 13 elements in 9 groups. Aperture ranges from f4 to f32 with click stops in between. The diaphragm is made of 9 rounded aperture blades. This lens accepts filters with 62mm diameter. It weighs 805 grams. On the back, this lens has a Nikon F mount. I use a cheap Nikon F to NEX adapter in order to use this lens on my Sony camera. Minimum focusing distance from your subject to the film plane or sensor is 1.2 meters throughout the entire zoom range. The Zoom Nikkor 80-200mm f4 is an excellent lens. I took it with me to the swamps and marshes of South Carolina, and I was very impressed with the quality that this lens delivers. It is sharp throughout the entire zoom range, even when shot wide open, and it has excellent colors, thanks to Nikon's integrated coating technology. It also delivers super smooth out-of-focus blur, and I never had any issues with ghosting or flare. I really love that it has a constant maximum aperture of f4 throughout every focal length, which is an awesome feature for a zoom, and its minimum focusing distance of only 1.2 meters makes this lens extremely versatile. I was able to shoot landscapes, get close-ups of insects, but also keep my distance when I was photographing birds or gators. And I did all of this with a single lens that I got for under $80. The zoom is also not very heavy, and I never had any issues using it handheld. All images that you see here were shot without a tripod. If you're wondering what are the negative issues with this lens, there are a couple of things that you need to be aware of. You will see green and magenta lateral chromatic aberrations when shooting against bright lights, and you also might be put off by the so-called zoom creep. If you're wondering what zoom creep is, here's what it looks like. It's simply gravity moving the zoom barrel when the lens is not in horizontal position. But for me, the positive attributes of this lens far outweigh these few little issues, and I think that this zoom is absolutely amazing. The fact that you can get perfectly sharp photos with great colors and excellent bokeh, and be able to switch your focal length from 80 to 200mm without having to change lenses, and not have to worry about loss in quality, makes this lens a keeper. I know that most people disregard and don't even consider vintage zooms, but this one is in a league of its own. I'm glad that I stumbled upon Steve McCurry's photo, because otherwise I would have never known how amazing this lens can be. Last time I announced a giveaway of the wonderful Auto Sears 135mm f2.8, and today's time to pick the lucky winner. And the winner is Daniel Crisascano, who wrote, "I would love to have this lens." Congratulations, Daniel. Thank you to everyone who entered the giveaway and subscribed. I really appreciate your support. I'll see you next time here at Vintage Optics.